Aloha, guys. Nice to be here. GRTV. I want to further express this issue of when people talk about things like penis size, breast size, what the actual issue is, and what people do about it and why. First of all, considering the people who discuss it, besides, of course, doing it for uh, understanding and referential purposes or as an understanding of psychology and science, like I'm doing. Or, of course, there are people who do it to make others feel badly, and people make people feel badly because they feel unhappy themselves. If you feel good, you don't want to disrespect others. Equally, verbally and physically, just like people might try to seduce one another with your bodies, uh, or have multiple partners or whatever. That all that has to do with power. It's or and obviously sexual satisfaction, but it's like a drug. It's not actually love. It's not self-respect. It's not enjoyment of life. You can't be joyful and simultaneously engage in these practices, be they uh, misusing your body or abusing your body or others, or even misappropriating and improperly uh, you know interjecting the way your wealth into what uh, so there is a contingent of people who makes uh, these politically incorrect jokes, penis or breast size or other things like that, and they're usually uh, childlike people who have no social sense about them. They're socially awkward, and they're kind of superficial, and they just don't value others' privacy. They don't have that um, sense, and so the point being that to respect others' privacy, what they do privately is everyone deserves to have some freedom to have their own lives. But the idea here of being envious. Different people have different bodies, right? The idea of being envious, it's misleading. Like I said, there's no such thing as envy. I've described that. That's one of my principles. It's really a uh, disapproval of the way somebody is misusing their body or wealth, and essentially when somebody when perhaps people view pornography or whatnot, or maybe they see men or women dressed in tight clothing, you know, it it and by the way, I think women and their vagina is kind of a politically correct, if you will. So in other words, I think yoga pants and things like that are okay. We're you know. Uh, uh, the truth being, though, that even if women's vagina sizes are disproportionate compared to men's penis sizes, what's more interesting is that the people who do it, they don't realize that it's the equivalent of saying a woman has a bigger or smaller vagina, man penis size, respectively. And so instead of looking at it in terms of, oh, men want this or women want this, let's think of it in terms of what works. And what works for different people often is a variety. There isn't that specific. But then there are people who want a certain body type or body parts for preference for themselves or others, and that's also good. You can invest in your future incarnations if you don't believe you have the desired and optimum body. You can you can you can create your reality. You can look down on these bodies and exist in invest in people and couples who have children, and in turn, those grandchildren will be you. That's my future investment, uh, reincarnation investment theory. That's one of my other foundational principles. And so when you're thinking like this and thinking like, it's not a joyful experience for people to drink alcohol and engage in all these short-term non-committal relationships. It's not a pleasant thing. It's really more of a pursuit of drugs. And I think most people, if they could, if they could push a button, this is push button lifestyle, if you will. If you could push a button and just turn off your desires until your the right person comes around, your dream mate. And if you could be patient until then and resist your own desires and other people who may try to seduce you, then you're gonna be able to feel joy, real peace in life, and not this desperation of trying to be attractive, hoping that people will find you attractive, wishing. Those things depart in the truth of classiness and grace and nobility. What all remains then is love. And so this idea of you know hoping people find you attractive. No, you have to want somebody has a mutual attraction with you. Never want to be with somebody who's not attracted to you physically and cerebrally. Equivalently, don't focus on other people and their relations and their engagements. That'll distract you from yourself and your dreams, and consequently your dream mate. And all this is relevant to the body and, if you will, sexuality. Sexual activity is the defining moment of, I think, a marriage or relationship. And so don't be misled by this idea of some type of a ceremony or other elements highlighting that. Really, it's physical and verbal intimacy that define. So there's no need to do those things with anyone in order to determine if you're sexually compatible or like each other. You can do all that via online internet conversation and make it scientific. The science of, well, how, what you know genital size, how how functional is it? How long can men keep an erection? How long can women, you know, you know, you know, have intercourse without having a muscular ache in their vagina? Like these things are worth considering, and it's a transition from thinking that, oh, I wish I had a certain body, or oh, I wish some people were attracted to me, to knowing exactly who you are, and being clear upon what you want for this and future incarnations, bodies, and having that sense of just godliness, just authority over the physical realm that will truly free you, because it's a confirmation of who we are. We're consciousness. We're not these individual bodies. And things like the ring. The ring will have an effect on you. It'll allow you to focus, and every day in the morning you could make a mantra. I want to be with somebody who likes me physically and mentally, and somebody who I is my dream mate, and I live for him or her in the future, and I get ready for her every day. And you just have this approach to life that is more compelling than what type of body and material wealth pursuits and doing all this all that can't carry you all the way. It can't really give you a sense of serenity, I would argue, because it just keeps going. There's always, you know, oh, the ups and downs of life. Those you know, you don't want to give away, use up all your energy on random people, because you'll need it to pursue your dreams. And when I say dreams, I'm talking about things like going on vacation, engaging in certain hobbies or creative interests, living a certain lifestyle, eating certain foods. These are very specific and unique, uh, defining elements in people's lives, and what really make us who we are. And so, yeah, remember, whenever you encounter somebody who's talking about subjects you think are inappropriate, you could either represent that to them if you think they're receptive to feedback. Uh, Say, you want the best for them, you want good intimacy for them, a dream mate, however you want to describe it. And this is also how I look at people in general. Instead of my mind thinking, oh, I want to seduce or attract this person because I'm attracted to them, the ego can sometimes do that, especially if you haven't activated your second chakra, via masturbation several times a day. Um, and so if you when you look at people, you should be able to say, I want good for that person, and that's what's meant by um, unconditional love and appreciation for others. Uh, Sometimes you have to be defensive, though. There are people who do want to manipulate, get you into situations which will lead to them getting whatever they want from you: money, sex, power. You're just maybe wasting your time. Maybe obviously wasting getting your money. So thanks for viewing, considering. Let's move onward in the direction of respect for one another, and a realization that you can't derive joy from all types of random, uh, sexual activity and pursuits. It's like a drug. It's like taking more of a drug. It's not really a meaningful, you know, really purpose satisfying, soul defining, truth revealing, truth and joy and classiness. When I say high class and royalty, they're all synonymous. They're all connected in a way that's just the level that it's at. It's that level of truth, and I feel like if everyone agreed with at least this character, maybe not other elements that positions I take, like on veganism and different like doing visualizations of people smiling. If people just did this one thing of wearing a ring of commitment to themselves, to their dreams, then it would be a peaceful world. Because especially in countries where, when you hear this concept of third world, what it really is it's the main violence is sexual violence from men towards women. And and uh, and so the main solution, in theory, would be men wanting to, be committed to their dreams and not just randomly give their energy to women. Men's ego thinks that, oh, I just need to have a strong, attractive body and, money, and I can just attract and, seduce as many women as I want. But in fact, in reality, all that does is it gets you in a position where your whole life is oriented around your desires, and not that's only second chakra. It's not even third chakra. And your whole life is not oriented around your dreams. There's no self-realization. So there's you're just gonna feel like you have no soul. you know And so remember that, you know. Remember you. Aloha.